Hello everybody and welcome to Mondoid, your one-stop shop for all things Project Zomboid, and this week, March to 1.0. For the first time in probably a month and a half, there is a Mondoid that I can actually start to dissect and talk about, and I'm really excited because this one is a very meat-filled one, I guess is a good way to put it. So without further ado, let's dive in. So as the title suggests, they're speaking about the official release of Project Zomboid. No longer in early access, no longer in alpha or beta development, straight up official release. Now, it doesn't mean this is happening tomorrow, but basically they're outlining what they want done before they can call it finished. And then when it's finished, they will continue to support the game with updates, developments, you know, additional things, etc., not just straight up abandon the game like a lot of early quote-unquote access games do once they quote-unquote finish the game. So, without further ado, let's talk about it. So, basically, the very first part they talk about is what they consider missing that is making Project Zomboid an incomplete game. And the three main things are NPCs, vehicles, and map completion. And I totally agree. These are the three main features that are missing before I think they should be able to call it 1.0. Primarily because these are the features that were promised and talked about for a long time. Now, one of the other things that they do talk about is hunting. Now, these things, they say right here, these are the things that we promised going into the game that have not yet been fulfilled. There's also one gaping hole in the survivalist gameplay which needs to be addressed. Now, hunting. Now, they could, and I assume they're considering all four of these missing before they call it a complete game. Hunting, though absolutely important in a survival game like this, because it wasn't necessarily part of the initial plan, I don't personally see it as something that's necessary for 1.0, but I can see why they think the opposite, because it is such an integral part to what makes post-apocalyptic survival exactly that, a survival game. So again, the four main things: NPCs, vehicles, map completion, and hunting. So let's talk about them one at a time. NPCs. So NPCs right now are, from what I'm told and what this says, well underway. Lemmy has made amazing progress over the past few weeks. He's no longer really kind of, you know, stressed out about it, because one of the big problems with the old NPCs is that they were basic, right? They were basically zombies with guns at that point. So the NPC code had to be completely torn apart, reworked from the ground up, and rebuilt for the new system to do basically what they want it to do. Remember, there is a lot of influence from Crusader Kings 2 being added, you know, into the Project Zomboid NPC system, where the NPCs are more likely to like you or dislike you based on a very hidden numeric value and mathematical equations, basically subtracting or adding to that number of how much they like you or not. And because of that, you know, they kind of really had to redo the NPC system. And of course, NPCs within the game are going to have their own survival groups, wandering on their own map, doing their own thing, all while you're doing your own thing too. So there was a lot of work that needed to be done, and of course there still is a lot of work that needs to be done. But what they have said is that they're going to release the NPCs in stages, starting with Kate and Baldspot, then the sandbox NPCs with metagame stuff, group mechanics, blah, 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 and then eventually getting and working all the way to the multiplayer NPC implementation. Now, I think this is a good idea because, A, for everybody who follows Mondoid and who has been following Project Zomboid, has been dying to get their hands on the NPCs in some form or another, but two, it will also allow us as alpha testers to test the NPCs within stages of its development to maybe help work out the bugs early, so that the next stage of NPC release will be that much more bug-free, something we can maybe pick out before they have to, you know, release it. Maybe the sandbox stage will help us work out the next stage for maybe the multiplayer release, so long as we work out the bugs for it. So there's kind of a win-win there. We as players get to play with NPCs earlier while helping the developers smooth them out, which is awesome. Again, they very much underline this does not mean Kate and Baldspot is that phase of NPCs is going to be out tomorrow. What it does mean is that it's well underway and we shall see it eventually. And for that, I'm excited. It's just always good to hear something about the NPC situation within the game, because I think that is, out of all the features that are yet to be implemented, NPCs are the one that is, as I've said time and time again, going to make or break this game. And I'm both stressed out for the Indie Stone and excited for them, because what they have on their hands is incredibly very, very promising, and I hope it works out as well as I think it's going to. And I have faith in them that it's going to work out well. They're pulling influence and they're pulling inspiration from the right places, and they've been working on it and basically saying it's not done till it's done. And I think that is the absolute best way to go about it. So next up, vehicles with a screenshot, which looks mighty sexy if I do say so myself, that beautiful 3D modeling. So yeah, vehicles. This is something that a lot of people have been asking for, and Easy Pickens has basically taken up the mantle for vehicles, and it's on the way, essentially. It's being worked on. They said there's a lot of challenges that go into working into vehicles. Basically, the biggest challenge, and I can understand them, is that when you are getting into a vehicle, you are now moving exponentially faster throughout the map. Vehicles A should be incredibly rare, but when you eventually get one, think about how much faster through the map you're going to get. What that means is now the game has to load up quicker. It has to work its physics differently for when you're within the car. The zombie population has to load in much faster. Then you have to take into account, car sounds, how far, how loud, this, that, and the other. There's just a lot of under the hood stuff that a lot of people probably don't take into account when they talk about vehicles. They think, hey, they just put the vehicles in the game, it's done. Because you're moving at such a quick pace, you have to understand that the game has to load up seamlessly so that you're not seeing holes in the world and shit like that while you're driving this car. So while vehicles are still being worked on and they are underway by Easy Pickens, there is definitely work to be done. And by the sounds of it, it's still very early in its development. But hey, a screenshot is a screenshot. Hunting. Now, hunting has kind of worked its way into the game very minimally with mouse traps and rabbit traps and all that good stuff. But they're talking straight up like animals in the wild with bows and arrows survivalist gameplay. It looks like Romaine will be heading the hunting department. Finally, you'll be able to wander around the countryside trying to shoot rabbits with a shotgun. Hurrah! This will round off the survivalist gameplay, make the game feel much more complete as a survival sim. That's awesome to hear. Again, not much to talk about outside of the fact that it's underway. I'm really excited to see maybe going into like an abandoned outskirts of a city where maybe eventually we have that erosion mod take over and plants have reclaimed the land, and we have like a deer running through the streets as like trees are growing through the ground and stuff, and you're like got your shotgun out and you're going to hunt it down because you're about to die of starvation. Very exciting. And finally, the map. Right now, there are a bunch of areas in the map that are highly undeveloped. Big rectangular chunks of forest, road layouts with no buildings, and of course, no lovely Louisville. In line with our plans to stride toward the 1.0 line, Matchbinky and Ringo D will all join forces to really put the map expansion into overdrive. Louisville, or at least part of the Kentucky side of the river, Brandenburg, and of course Fort Knox will all be on the agenda, though the latter may need to wait for NPCs to drop so we can get the military in there. That is fucking exciting. Oh man, the military. Now remember, the military in this game, from what I've been told and what they've talked about, will not be on your side. They will shoot you on sight. I'm so excited. And that's it. Basically what they say is that once those are done and implemented in a fashion where they're not beyond broken, they actually work, they can consider it complete, a 1.0 version of the game that they can release outside of early access, which is stupidly exciting, right? There's still, they say, after 1.0 release, so much more that can be done with the game. They see no reason to stop until basically it costs more to develop the game than they're making from the game itself, so a long time to come. They said they just see adding more and more features as free DLC style-y stuff. Kind of think Minecraft, how they keep adding stuff to the game, that kind of thing. And I really see this game taking off. I really do see this game taking off with NPCs implemented, but still, I'm so excited that we actually have some stuff to talk about here. And from what I can see, though 1.0 is still probably a good distance away, the fact that 1.0 is in their sights at this point, where, this time last year, it wasn't even a blip on the radar, is so effing exciting. So I'm excited for it, guys. This is an excellent Mondoid. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go read it yourself for a more detailed version, and go get a nice zoom in on this car model. It's beautiful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're one of those once-a-weekers, I will see you next week, and if you are a regular, I will see you later today. And as always, I'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye.